The Suicide of Red Mutualism. We have put out 2 videos on the concept of collective force. Our most recent video on the subject showed that the idea was not popular among the historical mutualist anarchists like Benjamin Tucker, Victor Yaros, and William Batchelder Greene, who never, or hardly ever, mentioned the concept. And so the recent insistence by some who today call themselves mutualists that it is one of the most important core concepts in mutualism is a break from the tradition. Our video showed that collective force was not historically important. Our older video on the subject, however, instead dealt with why collective force should not be considered theoretically important. In it, we showed that while it was an admirable attempt at the time to answer problems unresolved by classical economics, the marginalist revolution provided a better explanation in the diminishing marginal utility of labor, which, once understood, left Proudhon's collective force theory without additional explanatory power. It is to this older video that our friend Hades has recently responded. We give in our video an example of 6 workers of equal skill and ability and 2 tasks to be performed. One task requires 5 men and produces a good worth $100. The other requires only 1 man and produces a good worth $10. The question was how, equitably, should these men be paid? If the 5 get $20 and the 1 gets $10, then you have to explain why it is just for some who perform jobs of equal difficulty to be paid much more than others. Hades' solution is to bite the bullet. The 5 should get $20 each and the 1 $10, and it is perfectly just and fair for some persons to be paid far more than others for jobs of similar skill and difficulty, and would be unfair for them to be paid the same. This is Hades' position, but it is opposed by the dictum of Josiah Warren that cost should be the limit of price. For Warren is in agreement with us and against Hades that all 6 workers should be paid $10. The only difference between Warren and anarcho-capitalists is that Warren would have the product worth $100 be sold for only its cost of $50, while we anarcho-capitalists would have it sold for its full value of $100, with the difference of $50 being dispensed to the capitalists who provided the materials for the production process. To this, Hades says, the mutualist response is a simple question. Why do they not have the necessary tools? And this is indeed what mutualists like Tucker, Yaros, and Shum would ask. But note that it concedes that this surplus should indeed go to the owner of the tools. It just asks why the owner of the tools cannot be the workers themselves. Through the mechanism of a bank with very low interest rates, the 5 workers could take out a loan and purchase the tools necessary for the task, and then they could keep the $20 each for themselves. This was the great solution to the social question advocated by Greene, Tucker, Westrup, and almost all the rest of the great mutualists of history. But note that this same solution of the worker taking out a low-interest loan to purchase the tools necessary for his job works just as well for individual tasks as it does for joint ones. It is therefore not surprising that these historical mutualists did not find much use for Proudhon's collective force. It was an idea that proved unnecessary to them. The great question is why have those who today call themselves mutualists retrogressed from this logical chain of reasoning and instead of minimizing collective force and extolling the importance of mutual banking, cannot shut up about collective force and find mutual banking a relatively unimportant and inapplicable doctrine of days gone by. We call on our modern mutualists to embrace the faith of their fathers, the faith of Swartz, Tucker, and Byington. While we have our differences with them, their anarchism and that of anarcho-capitalism are really quite close. As we show in our video, yes, anarcho-capitalists are anarchists. The remaining difference can be settled by compelling arguments which, we have been convinced, show that Rothbard's anarcho-capitalism is the next sensible step from Tucker's positions.